so light. I haven't ridden a properly naked bike for a while now, since I had my dad's Zephyr out. Oh, this feels so short and stumpy as well. Oh, that is good though. It just pulls. Oh, I've seen loads of reviews of this bike, and whoever's riding it at the time appears to be quite, you know, composed. And then as soon as they're on it, they just turn into a giggling idiot, and I can see why. One scary thing, my German is getting better all the time, so I'm pretty sure I understood it right, but the guy just told me the crack with this is that I'm riding it on third-party only insurance, so I accept all responsibility for anything that happens to this bike. The annoying thing is I don't know my way around this area at all, so I don't really know where to go. Oh, that feels so light. Yeah, that's the shit. That is a great engine. It's just purring along right now. I don't know if I could spend a lot of time on this bike though. I feel like I look like a bit of a dick. Look where my legs are. It's about the same size as the Phaser, which is a shame. Horrible stumpy little mirrors. Get a lot of my own elbow there. Yes. Oh, if I had some cash to throw away, I would go back and just give it to this man for something to razz around in town. But already I can feel that my legs are a bit cramped. It's very relaxed though. It's not a very relaxed bike, obviously, but it's a very relaxed feeling from the engine right now. It's just... It looks very unfinished by here though. It looks like it was meant to have, even if not a screen, just like a little mini spoiler or something, and they just didn't bother, but I have to have saved the money somewhere, I suppose. It doesn't like the really low revs. Very lumpy. Great driving position though. Everything's just in the right place, except for those pegs being slightly too high. Everything feels very firm, very solid, yet also incredibly light. It's a bit squashy when you jump up and down like that. It's like riding on a two-wheeled marshmallow. A lot more engine brake in there as well. I think I've got to agree with the consensus as well that louder pipes would improve things a touch. Oh, that wasn't smooth. Quite a lot of play on the throttle there. I'm twisting. There it is. Don't know if maybe that's just the setup of this bike though. Bit of a sloppy throttle action. No one likes a sloppy... Oh, hello. That's not the indicator. No one likes a sloppy throttle action. That is a horrible, horrible cheap instrument cluster. That's disgusting. Yeah, that has got some poke. From the low end, that picks up so much quicker than the Phaser. That's the crazy thing. The numbers that they put on these bikes don't really mean all that much alone. This has got 75 horsepower and the Phaser has 95 horsepower, but this has just got so much more poke down that bottom end, which, as I was saying earlier on, for my style of riding, is going to make it feel like a much, much faster bike without having to work so hard. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of behaviour I want out of my bike. Gearbox is really smooth as well, actually. Just clicks really neatly into gear. Very stiff, very firm. Yeah, that's what I like. So easy, you short shift it and it just still keeps pushing. I hate to admit it, but I'm a very lazy rider nowadays. Not afraid of smashing it up the box quickly to get into top gear. Kind of really am growing to prefer the more grumbly low end sort of noise, a thumpy and throbby. Sound like a couple of really bad criminals. Seat's very firm and you can feel how thin it is, but at the same time it is actually really quite comfortable. Got to be honest though, I'm not a great fan of digital rev counters and digital speedos. But just a minute ago it was jumping. There you go, look how it flickers between. It's like, surely I can't be halfway between one and the other, just make a choice. Just like Pete Doherty, who is a well-known advocate of the analog rev counter, always says, you know where you are with a needle. that is easy, so easy. Wasn't even really trying. A lot of front end dive there. That really does dip down when you... That's not great. As Chasey Lane once said, I do like a good stiff front end. I don't like that lag on the throttle. What if that's something that could be adjusted out? Well, obviously you'd have to adjust my legs to be 6 inches shorter first. I do like this bike, has to be said, I really do like it, but I don't think it's workable for me. I mean, that lag could be polished out. Suspension is a bit too soft because being pretty big, I'm quite heavy as well, unfortunately, so I don't want to be riding a marshmallow all the time. And as far as I know, there's no adjustment on this bike. Also, I've just remembered I forgot to bring my waterproof jacket and the rain is just about to come in. I think I've made my decision with this bike, I really do. I think it's another option off the table, sadly. Look how just a slight nudge and it dives. It's not good. It's a great looking machine though. Sounds like a little sewing machine. And the seat really is quite comfy. I mean, for the 20 minutes I've been on it. Oh, why do you have to rein? I have a real knack. I just find the rein somehow. It's incredible. It's a proper skill. Definitely would have a lot of fun on this machine though. It's a shame that the dealership is so far out of town, otherwise I could bomb in and see how it performs like commuting style, but oh, this is rubbish. I've got 1 hour with this bike. The insurance runs out at 3 o'clock and then it turns back into a twin cylinder pumpkin. Oh, thank you. So yeah, not much of a all-encompassing, fully informative, wonderful review here, but a selfish point of view, I was looking at it for me anyway. So many people have done great reviews of this bike already. I just wanted to know if it fit me. Sadly, it does not. It's far too small. My knees are right on the corner of the tank there. See that? Not good. Yeah, it just doesn't fit me. Legs can't find the groove. And because of that, I can't pinch the tank. And because of that, I keep sliding my knackers into the front of the tank. I keep sliding my knackers into Japan. I get bloody wet again. I'm sick of getting wet. I might just buy a car, you know. Difference, of course, here is I have absolutely zero protection from any rain. At least on the Phaser I got a little bit of dry chest action, but now I'm just soaked. Well, not quite. With the good sense to put leather trousers on today instead of a Kevlar's. This is a real shame, actually. It's like the day that I first ever sat in a Lotus Elise. My first ever car was a Mini, and I just loved the fact that it had such great handling. Zero power, but great handling. And I imagined that the obvious next car would be a Lotus Elise. Super light, really simple, not necessarily really powerful, but so low to the ground, engineered for handling over raw power. I was well up for that. And then I sat in one, and it was like sitting in an undersized bathtub. The headrest actually rested in between my shoulder blades. So I had to put that dream to bed, and just like I'm going to have to put this one to bed. Fun as it would be, this bike isn't going to work for what I want. I mean, yeah, the town part would be fine, I'm sure, but come touring, it's just really not going to cut it. Trying to go for a bit of slow manoeuvring there, but the lag on the throttle stuffed me over. I do like that throaty grumble. With a crappy bitch exhaust pipe on it, that sounds frickin' awesome. There's blue skies over there, that's where I'm going. This sodding truck wasn't in the way. It has been sunny all morning. All bloody morning. I'm starting to think that the forces of nature are trying to tell me something about me and motorcycling. Just seem to attract the rain. Oh, and by the way, I mean, it's still August. I'm pretty sure it's going to have taken me a couple of months to get all of the videos out of the Euro trip. But we're in the middle of August, the month that most people associate with summer. Oh, I would turn the heated grips on, but I left them on the other bloody Yamaha, didn't I? What an exciting test ride this turned out to be. I'm starting to turn into bloody Marvin the paranoid android of motorcycling. I go out with such high hopes, optimistic visions, and then end up horribly disappointed. Right, big grey clouds to the left. Shiny, bluish, fluffy-ish clouds to the right. Easy choice. Although, let's be fair, it's getting grey everywhere. There's a lot to be said for Yamaha's extra connecty, roddy, balancy, doobly flips. All the balancism squiddly diddles that they've apparently stuck in the engine of this. It's very, very smooth. Very smooth indeed. Really horrible, horrible indicator button. No real feedback from that at all. It's very soft and flappy. It's just... It's like an old lady's nipple, that is. Don't like it. Just going to find out where the hell I am. Oh, wet roads on a bike I don't know. What a joy. What an absolute joy. Really not enjoying that lag on the throttle. Also really not enjoying that I don't know where I am and these roads are really boring. I'm trapped in a slippery tarmac German suburban hell on a Japanese bike that just wants to be thrashed. This is just teasing. Where the fudge am I? I've got to get it back in 15 minutes. It's very easy to keep it balanced. You can imagine it'd be great in town. You could tune that lag out on the throttle, it's awful. There we go again. Torque is silky smooth though. Shed loads of it. And even though it's wet, it's still quite controllable. Good feel to it. Oh, blue skies over there. I hate it when that happens. Blue skies just over there and rain where you are. Every biker's worst ride. Beautiful bike, just not the one. Not the one. Oh, it's got so much pull. It's definitely the kind of performance I'm after, just not quite the size. I mean, if all I wanted to do was to razz around in town, again, this would probably fit the bill perfectly. Never going to be on it for more than 10 minutes. I just want something that I can load up and ride to Spain on. I could imagine that this would be amazing fun for that, but not the most comfortable, or I'm going to go ahead and say it, practical. Get your cocoa, Grandad. And yet more rain. This is bullshit. Stalled for the wave. This is a slow cranking engine apparently. Doesn't just fuel up the cylinders and spark it straight away. It waits for enough compression to be built up, which meant that Yamaha could save weight and money on a larger, heavier starter motor. They put a smaller one in, but it just takes a bit longer to get going. And I just fell foul of it because I thought it would start up straight away, and the knobhead behind me started to overtake me at the traffic lights. I cannot see a thing. That nosedive is excessive. Obviously too heavy for this bike. I mean, on the one hand it shows that the brakes are good, on the other hand it just highlights the flaws of the suspension, which is a shame because otherwise it's great. It feels very firmly planted to the road to me. Maybe that's a part of my weight as well. There's a little bit of a stumble when you blip the throttle. You can't blip it like I can on the Phaser. You have to give it a sustained twist, which is not ideal, I wouldn't have said. Really seems to not just dive the front end, but the back end sits up as well. A bit too soft for my liking. I mean, this is all just circumstantial now because it was quite obvious from early on that the bike wasn't going to be an option. It is great fun. It really is. It's very usable. So light. You can just bung it around. I really do think if you were scratching out in the country roads, leaning off this bad boy, you're going to be able to get some serious cornering action on the go. Where your body weight is really going to affect the handling of it. Nasty. Yes, very much. This is definitely a lot closer, just so much closer to what I want out of my engine. The incredible thing is just how much parallel twin engines have come. I mean, my experience was from a 10-year-old ER5, which was very, very buzzy. That's bottom of the range engine work, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Need to get some fuelium. Back in a second. I thought that'd be quite telling how it felt to look out the window at it while I was paying for the fuel, and how the guy in there would act towards me. I do have an overwhelming feeling that it's just like I've borrowed my little brother's bike, my hooligan younger brother, while my grown-up bike is in the garage or something. I'm sure that's something I could get used to, but I don't have to. Right, let's go and take it back. Get the old faithful back. Gear changes are so slick. They really are slick. Just pops in. Kind of not exactly doing a clutchless shift here because it's not my bike. I want to respect it a little bit more. Yeah, it's probably a bit out of the ordinary. Normally the test bikes are the ones you're supposed to thrash the shit out of, aren't they? But I come from a design and engineering background, so I have an inability to disrespect equipment, it seems. But anyway, yeah, the gearbox, really nice, really slick, very snickety. Then what do you expect? The gears just seem to keep coming. There we go. 20 minutes late, but ho-hum. That lag on the throttle again. Finally, a few hundred meters of what it was meant for. It's pretty good at it. I mean, I'm a little unsure of it, but I've spent a long time getting used to my bike. And then the sun pops out as I return it. The guy's going to say to me, "What happened? Why were you so long?" And I'm going to go, "Oh, it was shucking it down the rain." And he's just going to be like, "What the f*** are you talking about, mate? It's been sunny all the time you've been gone, yeah?" Because obviously this Yamaha garage is in Essex. This way. It is a joy to ride though. It really is a joy to ride this bike, but I'm not overly upset about giving it back, which I guess is a good position to be in because everything else I'm looking at, half the price. I mean, for the money though, this is fantastic. That was good fun, but it's not meant to be, sadly. Yeah, I'm just too big for it. I look like a dickhead. Look like a bully's nicked some kid's bike in the playground. That's not really a look I'm after, to be honest. But never mind. It was worth a crack. It's a great bike, but no. No, no, no.